What up guys and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to react to Magnus Carlsen. He is a grandmaster chess player. As far as I know, he is the #1 grandmaster player, I think. I'm not 100% certain, but I saw this video. I've never seen this video before and I feel like I want to react to this. So let's jump right in and let's react. Let's see what Magnus Carlsen is all about. Let's go.
Magnus Carlsen is the best in the world. He's a 21-year-old Norwegian, reigns supreme in a sport played by 500 million people. It's chess. Many don't think of it as a sport because nobody moves. But chess masters will tell you it can be more brutal than boxing. That's because at the championship level, the objective is not only to win, but to demolish your opponent. That can take hours. The best players need extraordinary endurance, so most of them are young. Magnus is the youngest #1 ever, and no one can explain to you how he does what he does. It seems to come from another world, which is why he's become known as the Mozart of chess.
The story will continue in a moment.
That's crazy.
Bor til G3.
Just look at what he's doing.
Bor til løper D2.
Competing against 10 players simultaneously. That in itself is not extraordinary, but Magnus cannot see the boards. He's facing the other way.
Bor 5 C slår D4.
So he has to keep track of the positions of 320 pieces blind.
Bor 5 tårn B1.
And the number of possible moves, infinite. Magnus comes out on top. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Do you have any idea how extraordinary this looks to?
No, it's one of the amazing things in chess that you don't really need a board. You can just keep it.
But it transcends chess. I mean, I just can't fathom what you've just done. It's just, it seems like it's supernatural. Last December, we caught up with him at the London Chess Classic. He arrives with his...
One thing is for certain, this guy is a genius. The thing is with grandmasters, they're a different level. Like, their brains are a different wavelength. Like, they're... And some people would say they're not even human. But some people are born like this. Some people are just born with this innate power, you could say, power. And this innate intellect. Like their brain can remember and can solve mathematical issues and can, think so many steps forward. And I don't know what it is. Like, I don't understand what it is that, makes it so different for so many few in the world. But that difference, like, how does that even happen? Like, how does somebody's brain become this highly intellectual, this high IQ of a person? Like, how can someone be like this? This is like, I would love to fucking know, like, if somebody has, studied this, because that would be cool to, read about or listen about, you know what I mean? But this guy not only can do this, but I saw like a video clip of him being able to remember like plays from like 1980 and 1990 and remembering what fucking tournament it was and who was playing who by just looking at the chessboard and how the fucking, how everything was laid out. And he would be like, oh yeah, this is from this game from 1988, for example, against this guy and this guy.
This position, I bet it looks familiar.
Yeah, this looks an awful lot like Tal Botvinnik. I was literally reading about this. Like, this is the book that is on my bedside table about the Kasparov-Karpov matches.
And you're like, what the fuck? How do you remember these things? Like, his brain, like, he can remember things so easily. And that made me think of, like, sorry for bringing fucking this guy up, but if you're a chess fan, but you probably know about Amor Andrew Tate, okay? So I'm bringing this guy up because I've listened to Andrew Tate, and Andrew Tate is really fucking popular now. Everybody knows that guy. And when I listened to one podcast where Andrew Tate was in it, he talked about his father, and he was really like, he like had so much joy when he talked about his father. Like, he knew that his father was like unbelievable at what he did as a chess player. And he said that his father could like just ask for an address or ask for a telephone number, and it would just stick with him for the rest of his life in his mind. Like, he did not have to fucking note it down. Like, it would stick in his mind. And I was like, bro, that is crazy. Is that really like, is that possible? How many people can even do that, bro? What the fuck? That your dad could be doing that? And then I was like, I couldn't even grasp that thought. Like, I was like, what the fuck? How? And now when I see this guy, and he's a grandmaster, and his father, Andrew Tate's father, was also, you know, for many classed as a grandmaster player, but he never officially got that, you know, that title. Even though he beat a lot of grandmasters, he was able to remember those things, and this guy is able to remember these things as well. And it just amazes me how your brain can be this, you know, this working machine, like a fucking robot. Like you could legit say it's a fucking robot. This guy is like a robot. How can you remember all these things?
Constant companion, his father. Magnus will play against 8 other top-ranked players, but he is the star, as celebrated in this world as Eli Manning is in his.
The world #1 player from Norway, Magnus Carlsen.
Today Magnus is playing America's #1, Hikaru Nakamura. The match will last 4 hours and there will be no breaks. Magnus will go on a stroll now and then, but his mind won't be going anywhere. He says he's concentrating not only on this game, but on other games played by other masters at other times, which he might want to draw on now. 10,000 of them. We gave him a test.
It was played right here in London.
This is what I'm
Simpsons on the Strand
Mm-hmm.
in 1859. I don't know the month or day.
You got it wrong.
Not 59?
51.
Wow.
You see, your memory isn't superb in everything.
It's not what it used to be.
Chess players are pretty poker-faced.
But in a different video, he nailed every single one, but it was like kind of off by just a year or 2 at maximum. But he was hitting it, like, he was even right about like one scenario of a chessboard layout, and he was like, oh yeah, this, I can't remember this. Like, he was so confused, he could not understand where this was from. He asked for a clue, and then that guy said that it's from the entertainment business, and he was like, oh, okay. And then he started thinking for a few seconds, and then he said like, oh, this is from the first Harry Potter movie.
Probably gonna need a hint.
Okay, it's from the entertainment industry.
Okay, so black is down a queen. So from the first Harry Potter movie, they played the Scandinavian and then they went knight c3, queen c6. So is it from that one?
Well done.
Thank you. Okay.
That's impressive.
Needed some serious hints, but...
Yeah, but it still could have been anything after the entertainment industry.
Good one, though. Good one, though.
And bro, I was like, how the fuck can you remember this? And it goes to show that he has become much, much more better at that compared to when he was younger.
But occasionally, Magnus will flash the smile of someone who knows it's all over but the handshake, while Nakamura dives deeper into doom. Magnus was playing brilliantly, and he knew it. Is there anything in life more satisfying than that feeling when you're playing brilliantly?
I don't know, but it's really, up there.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
The spectators seem as mesmerized as the competitors. They're all chess players, of course. If they weren't, it would be like watching paint dry. Worldwide, 100,000 are watching on their computers.
Wow.
The suspense keeps building until endgame, by which time it's cutthroat. But do you enjoy it when you see your opponent squirm?
Yes, I do. I enjoy it when I see my opponent, really suffering when he knows that I've outsmarted him. If I lose just one game, then usually, I just want to really get revenge.
This is war, isn't it?
Yeah.
For 50 years, chess was war. It was a battleground in the Cold War with the Russians, who were dominant. But then an American came along. His name was Bobby Fischer. In 1972, he took on the Russian champion Boris Spassky, and he won. It was an international spectacle, and the enthusiasm has not waned.
What number is this?
Back in London, just down the corridor from where Magnus is playing, 500 novices are learning how to master kings and queens.
Do you ever play any grown-ups?
Yes. Yep, I do play grown-ups. In fact, I'm getting to the hang of playing grown-ups.
Who's your favorite chess player?
Bobby Fischer.
Bobby Fischer.
And I like Magnus Carlsen.
You like Magnus?
Chess is now routinely taught in schools all over the world, including the United States. In some countries, it's compulsory. Chess can be taught, but not genius. Magnus seemed like a normal enough kid growing up outside Oslo. But wait a minute. When he was 5, he could name almost all the countries in the world, and their capitals, and their populations.
Yeah, this guy...
Magnus's father, Henrik, didn't think that was terribly unusual.
He did have a good memory, and...
What the fuck? How, as a father, can you sit there and say, oh yeah, this is not unusual? What? What? If my son was able to just know every single fucking country, let alone 20 countries, I would be like, bro, this is unusual. How the fuck do you know this? How do you know this? If my kid knew fucking 10 countries and 10 capitals, I would be like, what the fuck? How do you know this, kid? You know more than me. Like, nah, this is unusual. I don't know what the fuck is gibberish talking about.
And the ability to concentrate for hours at a time on a specific topic. And he seemed to be interested in a lot of things, new things all the time. But I thought that was normal.
What got him into chess? Sibling rivalry. His older sister started to play, so he wanted to beat her, which he did, quickly. Then he started winning tournaments. Before long, he became a celebrity, one of the first Norwegians to excel in a sport that did not involve snow. People lined up in shopping malls to play him. When he won, Magnus said it was just a game, no big deal. He couldn't understand why people were making such a fuss.
Oh, why this? Why this? All people want to talk with little me,
Magnus's parents took him and his sisters out of school for a year, rented out their house, sold their car. It was part holiday, mostly chess. They went to Reykjavik, Iceland, which is where Magnus took a leap into legend, when he was matched against Garry Kasparov, the Russian, considered by many to be the greatest ever. And how did Magnus prepare? By reading up. Kasparov kept the 13-year-old kid waiting for half an hour, and when he did arrive, he didn't even say hello. It was speed chess, the Formula One of the sport, a race against the clock. Kasparov started slow. Magnus started getting bored.
I sat there for a few seconds, and then I thought to myself, you know what, I don't know why he's thinking, but I know what my response is going to be anyway, so I'll just walk off and watch the other games.
Kasparov had never played anyone so young, but he did not exude confidence or happiness, and he did not win. Magnus played him to a draw. It was a sensation. Kasparov left quickly. No nice game, kid. Nothing. How did Magnus react? Guess. He thought he had blown it.
When I actually got the winning position, I had little time. I was nervous, and I couldn't finish him off.
Why were you nervous?
I was playing Kasparov. I was intimidated.
You were intimidated by playing the world champion when you were already 13 years old?
Yeah, go figure.
It warranted a celebration, of course, and Magnus got to choose.
Yes, I went with my family and had some ice cream at McDonald's.
By the time he was 19, the boy with the ice cream had become #1 in the world.
He has a very deep understanding of chess.
That is unbelievable. I'm fascinated by this. I'm not gonna lie, this is fascinating. This is really fascinating.
Beatles' company, Chessbase, publishes the world's most popular chess program. Is this an indication of genius?
Of
100%.
Genius and raw talent. Now, Magnus still hasn't reached his peak. He hasn't really worked yet.
I've heard him described as lazy, which I find quite extraordinary.
I think that's an impolite term, but it's probably appropriate.
Except when he's not. Magnus plays soccer whenever he can break away from the board. He's got a mean backhand, and he's moonlighting as a model. There's never been much money in chess, but Magnus is changing that. Sponsors are lining up to endorse him. He's making about $1.5 million a year.
Wow.
But it's a solitary life.
Imagine how much he's getting now.
Magnus is on the road 200 days a year now. Between matches, he is alone in his hotel room, getting ready for tomorrow's game. He works out almost every day, knows he can't concentrate, for it's often 7 hours unless he's in shape. Magnus says he wouldn't be able to tolerate this life if it weren't for his father, who's always there for him. When you travel with Magnus, what's your role?
I'm a servant. And a chess fan.
You enjoy the games.
Yes.
And so, he says, does Magnus. Boy, when you look at him, when I look at him, enjoyment is not the word that comes to mind.
It should. Maybe you have to compare it to a writer or a painter. I mean...
I really respect the father here, because this is how a lot of fathers that, back their children up and always support them and always are there by their side, give the kid a certain type of strength that is impossible to get from somebody else. You understand what I mean? Like when a father does that, especially if you are a boy and you have your father by your side at a young age, when doing these kind of things, tournaments and competitions, if it be football games, basketball games, tennis games, whatever, and you have your father by your side, and especially if your father keeps pushing you and keeps wanting you to become better, it's a different type of story, because that's the same thing with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like, his father, like, he was always there by his side, teaching him, learning him, pushing him. And as we all know, Khabib became one of the greatest, the greatest to ever fight in MMA. One of the greatest. Some might say somebody else is the greatest, but Khabib is definitely one of the greatest, and definitely a Hall of Famer of UFC and MMA. So this is what I really appreciate about the father. He's so supportive, and that shows why Magnus has also become so successful. Because imagine if his father wasn't there, and imagine if he didn't get that support, he might have had a different life. There's a high probability of that, because even Magnus said himself that he would not be able to do these things, or he would not feel like he was able to do these things or live life without his father by his side.
Probably if you see them at work, they're not smiling or having an easy time. They're exploiting their mind to the utmost, and the same with the chess players.
But that level of concentration is not danger-free. A fair number of grandmasters have gone mad, which is what happened to Bobby Fischer in his later years.
This was not an arrest. This was a kidnapping. It was all cooked up.
Do you ever think about that?
Yes, I do. You know, when I was watching the recent film about Bobby Fischer, I was thinking, you know, is this going to be me in a few years? I don't think that's going to happen, but you know, it made me think a little bit that, you know, I have to be aware of this at least.
People have described you as the Mozart of chess. How do you react to that?
Yeah, maybe, but was Mozart ever asked how he does this? I don't. I would be very impressed if he had a good answer to that, because I think what he would say is that it just comes natural to me. Natural to me. It's what I do.
Which is what you say.
Yeah.
It's what he does for fun, too, at the Oslo Chess Club where he started. He's playing a Norwegian grandmaster here. It's called bullet chess, and Magnus has a handicap. His opponent is given 3 minutes to make his moves. Magnus has 1. It's just a friendly match, but Magnus always hates to lose, so he doesn't.
Oh, where's he? Wow. You got him.
Yeah, I got him.
That's it? That's it. Wow. This is fascinating as fuck and a bit inspiring, I'm not gonna lie. But definitely fascinating. Really fascinating. It goes to show, like, some people in this world, they are out of their minds. I mean, in the sense of, like, they are so intellectual, so smart that it's so hard to comprehend and it's so hard to grasp, like, how is this possible? But wow, yeah, Magnus Carlsen, I'm sorry, is one hell of a guy. This guy is wow. I am in awe of how fucking unbelievable this is. This was really cool. I'm not gonna lie, this was a really cool video. I'm definitely gonna see some other Magnus Carlsen videos if there are any that are worth reacting to. Of course, there are so many, of course, that are worth reacting to. But I mean, videos that are videos that I've never seen and are videos that I can be able to react to. If you understand what I mean. But if you guys have anything that you want me to react to, comment down below. Comment what you think about Magnus Carlsen. If you are a chess player yourself, or maybe you're just a chess fan, or you've never even, you know, followed chess, or you've never played chess. What do you guys think about this sport? What do you guys think about Magnus Carlsen? Just give me your opinions down below. I would really like to read them. And hit that like button if you like this reaction video. And yeah, hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on future videos like these, and hit that bell notification because that really helps me a lot so you don't miss out on my videos. And with that being said, take care and deuces.